Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Tech Talks presented by EGP Document Solutions. I'm Andy Demetra, and we are thrilled to be joined today by the head coach of your number 25 Georgia Tech women's basketball team, Nell Fortner. Nell, great to catch up with you again. How are you?
I'm doing great, Andy. I hope I'm doing better than you are with your little cold over there.
You know what, though? You have given Georgia Tech fans a lot of opportunities to shout and lose their own voices because on Monday, entering the top 25 for the first time since February of 2022, and with your win over Louisiana Monroe on Wednesday, you tie the school record for best start to a season at 10-0. Beyond the obvious answer, which is this team is very talented, why do you think this team and this roster, the way your players have meshed and gelled, explains this school record tying start?
Yeah, I think we have a really good mix of experienced veterans that have embraced our incoming freshman class that was so highly touted, and they've just really meshed well. It doesn't always happen that way, but the mutual respect for the freshman class with our veterans and with what we're trying to do, it's been really, really good. And that's something that you don't know if that's going to happen or not. You hope it does. And we've just been really fortunate that we have just a really great group of players that really like each other and want to fight hard for each other.
You open ACC play on Sunday versus number 14 North Carolina. You have a pair of returning second team All ACC guards in Kara Dunn and Tony Morgan. They're both doing their things, but let me ask you about Kara Dunn leading your team in scoring. Where she made that jump in her game now as a junior?
Kara's playing with a lot of confidence because she's put in a lot of work into her game. She's worked really hard in the off season, as she did 2 summers ago. She started that after her freshman year. This past summer, after her sophomore year, really got very dedicated with being in the gym and working on some things she needed to improve on. And she's a very highly driven young woman. She knows what her goals are and what she wants to accomplish, not only individually, but as a team. So very, very, very driven.
You had talked about the blend of the veterans and the newcomers. You brought in a very heralded four-woman freshman class, all of whom hail from the state of Georgia. And let's talk about Danny Carnegie. Has she ever turned heads for you? And she certainly isn't the only one of your freshmen who has done that. But what has she added to this team that's made her such a weapon so early in her Georgia Tech career?
Well, first of all, I'll say this first. She's an outstanding young woman first. She just, all four of our freshmen, just really such great people first. But Danny comes with a basketball acumen that is just, I haven't seen it in a while. She just has it. It just reeks from her. She understands the game. She understands how to get her shot. She just has an understanding of the game that's really fun to coach, and it's fun to watch as you watched her come along in the season. She's a walking bucket. She can get a shot off whenever she wants it, and that comes in really handy when you need to have some points on the board.
You talked with us during the preseason that you may not have the type of size that you would ideally like, but you're certainly creating mismatches with the composition of your roster. Being fast, being athletic, being able to spray it and spread it with your shooting ability all around the half court. How do you see this team as you move into ACC play continue to create those mismatches and create advantages for your team?
Yeah, I really like the way that we can play those different styles. The starting lineup is probably our biggest lineup that we put on the floor. And then we kind of play off of that a little bit again. And that's our most experienced lineup, having played here and started for a couple of years, with them on the floor. But then you have a Kayla Blackshear coming off the bench who started for 2 years, still plays the same amount of minutes, but she comes off the bench and gives you a great experienced punch right off the bat. And then you follow that up with our freshmen. It's been just really, really fun to coach them and be able to play the different styles. Look, we can come down and we could just shoot threes because all five players on the floor can shoot threes. Or we can come down and if we want to try to pound it inside a little bit or come off some screens and really attack the paint, we're really capable of doing that with several players able to get downhill pretty quick. None better than Tony Morgan, for sure. So. But it's been really fun, scheming in ways offensively to be able to do some different things. But Andy, we hang our hat on the defensive end of the floor. And we are really playing well on that end of the floor because some nights those shots aren't going to fall. And we've got to be able to stay in the game. So defensively, I'm super proud of the progress we've made, and we've got to continue doing that.
Yeah, quick, active, irritating on the defensive end. You can obviously convert that defense into offense. You
That's
guys in
right.
non-conference play broke the school record for three-pointers in a game with 15 versus Florida A&M. And then on Wednesday versus Louisiana Monroe, you made 14 threes. So
That's
now the
right.
next challenge then, Nell, number 14, North Carolina on Sunday and ACC play. And obviously you've calloused yourself in this opening month plus of the season for conference play. How do you feel that these first 10 games have prepared your team for the challenge that awaits in the ACC?
I think they've prepared us very well. I feel really good about the schedule and how we've competed hard and won those games. At the end of the day, you want to win every time you get on the floor. But the experience, the lock-in that we had to have with this group on the scout, because we played a lot of teams that had different styles. South Dakota State is the best mid-major team you're going to play. I mean, they execute offensively extremely well, and we had to really be on point defensively to slow them down. Oregon has a 6'9" post player. They have tremendous scorers on the perimeter. Well, we don't have anybody 6'9". We had to scheme that defensively to shut her down, and we did a really good job. We were locked in when we got those two wins, and we continue to do that. Because Andy, you mentioned it. Sometimes we end up very small on the floor. Well, we better be really quick. We better be really smart defensively on how we're going to slow some people down. So I think we played games leading up to our ACC opener at North Carolina that have made us scheme, lock in, really focus on that scout, and then have to execute it. It's going to be a tough opening conference game. There's no doubt about it. North Carolina, this might be Courtney's best team since she's been at North Carolina. But we're coming in there with one of our best teams too. So
Well,
it,
you already have beaten one ranked team, and with a win on Sunday versus North Carolina, a record that has stood since the 1977-78 season will officially topple, and Georgia Tech, this year's team alone, will stand with the best start to a season in program history. Now, best of luck on Sunday in Chapel Hill. Thanks so much for joining us here on Tech
thanks
Talks
a lot.
presented by EGP Document Solutions.
Thanks, Andy.